Hello, everybody. We are back. This is the K&B Music Den. I'm Keith.
I'm Brad.
And we are doing yet another album review. I mean, this past Friday, how many great albums came out?
Fantastic.
Oh, man. And this is one of our favorite bands, I think, that are going strong today. This is the band Dawes and their new album, Misadventures of Doomscroller. What?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is great. I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, Brad. We're just going to jump into it.
Oh, quickly, okay.
What are your overall impressions of this album as a fan of Dawes from album 1?
I think it's amazing.
I do too.
Okay, okay, good.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's 7 tracks.
Yeah.
And it's just every single track's a hit. I mean, musicianship took center stage for me this album. Oh my God.
You beat me to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever plays bass on this album, what's his name?
Wiley Gelber.
Okay, I always forget his name.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. The bass,
bass stood out to me, the drum,
Yep.
I mean everything, but oh my goodness, man.
Yep.
This, I don't even have to look at my notes for this part because I remember what I wrote. The first thing I put down in my notes about this album is a triumph.
Well, I think you mentioned earlier, COVID seems to like put people back in like a writing mode, and like this album, we reap the benefits of that because you can tell these guys really they forged out an amazing album. I mean,
Absolutely. And I'm going to be honest with you folks, I'm a very big Dawes fan. Their past 2 albums before this one, Passwords and Good Luck with Whatever, there were too many, in my opinion, skippable songs.
Sure.
Now, again, even a Dawes song that is on the weaker end is not a bad song.
Yeah.
But some of the songs that they were writing in the past few years before this absolute drop-dead masterpiece of an album, you know, Still Feel Like a Kid and Who Do You Think You're Talking To? They're fun and they're upbeat and they're, you know, but sometimes Taylor Goldsmith, in my opinion, he gets a little too clever for his own good.
It's a little campy.
With lyrics. A little campy, borderline corny.
Yep.
Not often. And he's a fantastic lyricist, musician, songwriter. I admire him very much. But this album, folks, and this was a band effort, you could tell. Honestly, like... I don't like. I really am speechless when I think about this album, which is not good for making a review video. So I'll have to just get myself.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah, help me out here.
We're doing. we brought out 3 albums this week that we're reviewing. We reviewed Ryan Adams' FM. We reviewed Jack White's
Entering Heaven Alive.
Yes. Yeah. And now we are reviewing this one.
Yeah.
Which check out the other videos if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, please.
But with those 3 albums in mind, which one to you was the best for the week?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. Dawes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hands
and the
down.
other 2 are good.
Yeah.
I went into these 3 reviews hoping I could beat up an album because I'm not going to be the review channel that just lies to you.
Yeah.
And tells you every album's fantastic.
And everything is roses and
I'm
rainbows.
going to tell you when an album's bad because it's art and you're allowed to critique it.
Yeah.
There's not a bad album that just came out from those 3.
No.
And this one just center stage.
Well put. Center stage. I mean... And going back to what I was saying, too, about the previous 2 albums, Passwords and Good Luck with Whatever, for me, as a Dawes fan, they needed to make this album.
Yes.
And they needed to make it now. And they did. They delivered in a way that just... Man.
Well, let me ask you, where do you rank this in Dawes history?
Now, I knew you were going to ask that, so I
you
thought
already
about
took 2 and pushed them off, so...
Okay.
This is a masterpiece. Where in the Dawes canon does this land?
Now, in time, this may even shoot up a little more. But for right now, my top 3 Dawes albums, number 3 is this new one.
Okay.
Adventures of Doomscroller. Number 2, by a hair between 1 and 2. But number 2 is North Hills.
Okay.
And number 1 is Nothing Is Wrong, their second album. But I tell you what, man. This thing, after more listens, and that's the thing, I'll get to that in a second. I've listened to it several times even before it came out, which you folks probably know why if you're Dawes fans, but we'll get to that. But, where does this rank for you already?
North Hills is the only one topping it. That's it. North Hills to me was a masterpiece when it came out, and this one's right there with it. I mean,
wow, almost 1A and 1B.
Man, it is. It's tight. It's real tight. Yeah.
Now, is it safe to assume Nothing Is Wrong would be number 3?
3, yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what? And I think, folks, over time, as I listen to this album more and live with it more, I'm going to say exactly what he just said. Because
I think so.
I was floored by this album.
Yeah.
Floored. And here, I want to hear what you think about this. I'm kind of proud. I came up with this.
Okay.
Okay. To me, this album sounds like the band Fish found a long-lost Steely Dan record that was never released and re-recorded it themselves. That's what it sounds like to me.
That is unique. But
you might not agree.
I mean, I don't disagree.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I've had a chance to listen to it 4 times.
Yeah.
Because we're doing this pretty quick.
Yeah, we want
3 days after we're trying to get our initial reactions, but I do believe, for me, this lands right behind North Hills.
I can't blame you at all. And
I'm not sure it can't pass it. I mean, the amazing thing is it's 7 tracks.
Yeah.
A lot of albums nowadays seem to want to pack 15, 16, 17, 18 tracks into an album.
And it's almost really 6 because the one is an outro to the previous song. It's just like a minute and a half of music.
You could almost call this like an exaggerated EP.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
And, I used to, I started to think when I was listening to this, man, can I find any critique of this? And then I started to think, well, maybe if it were longer, because it's so great, like, what if they wrote more songs for this? But it wouldn't have worked. Like, this, it's perfect. I mean, we rarely use the term perfect, even for our absolute favorites. But this album is close. Perfect. I mean, it's damn near close, if not perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes right now, and it's just ridiculous.
Go for it.
Someone Else's Cafe, all I put is fantastic musicianship. Oh, that's what it was. Oh. Comes in Waves. Love the bass on this album because that's how it's still just stuck on the bass. Oh, just how great it was sounding.
Great parts.
And I put next track. Everything is permanent. I can't find anything to complain about. So I mean, it's just the only track. If I was to say, okay, you have to pick a song that you would leave off if you had to.
Yeah, or replace.
Ghost in the Machine was probably my least of those songs.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's not because it's bad. I mean, it's just.
And the joke in there somewhere.
That would be the second to last.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. To me, that might. Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I
don't want to
take anything off.
They're so good.
Let's not take.
That's just us being nitpicky to be nitpicky. I mean, it's that good.
Yeah, just to try and find something wrong.
Yeah.
Guys, seriously, check this album out. If you're a Dawes fan, if you're new to Dawes, well, if you're new to Dawes and you listen to this album and then you go back and listen to their first album, North Hills, you'll be like, this isn't the same band. But I love the progression of this.
Oh yes. Yep.
I mean, albums like All Your Favorite Fans, Taylor
Goldsmith's got to be in the top 3 to 5 songwriters right now, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine where you'd put him.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
Yeah, Mandy Moore married 2 of them.
She's got good taste when it comes to songwriters.
Yeah, she has. So, I'm going to cheat and look at my notes here, too, because I get all wrapped up in this and I forget what I was going to say. But... Oh, we talked about some of that. Now, and we talked about the musicianship. Oh, man. And this album, the songs take so many twists and turns within each song. It's like each song, and you're like thinking, it's only 7 tracks? Like, are you kidding me? But each song has almost like 2 or 3 songs within it.
It's amazing.
Like, the first song, Someone Else's Cafe. Oh. / Doomscroller Tries to Relax. Is that right? It's hard to say. But that song is over 10 minutes long. Oh. And there's almost like 3 songs within that. It almost kind of reminds me, format-wise, of like a song like Paranoid Android by Radiohead, where it's just like movements, And, and that's the thing. This is art. Like, this is music. This is true musicianship. Like, these songs have movements within the song. It's kind of... I mean, if I may go so far as to say, it's almost like it's a modern-day indie Americana progressive rock album.
It really is, yeah. I mean, you can hear jazz, you can hear... I mean, there's a little bit of everything in this.
You can.
Yeah.
And Taylor is singing, as usual, amazingly. Now, I do want to point out some lyrics here.
Oh, perfect.
Being a great lyricist that Taylor is. And I'm still not 100% sure if I fully understand this lyric, but I think I do, and it's great. So from the song Comes in Waves, which is track 2, I believe.
Yes. That's fantastic, too. Yeah, so every time we mention something like that.
So he sings the following, and I know you're going to remember this. I think I found something in common with nothingness and God, You stare at either in the face too long, they'll do each other's job.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow. Folks, I'm a songwriter. I've been a songwriter since middle school. And you don't want to hear anything I wrote in middle school. Trust me. But that's some writing right there.
Yeah.
Wow. And, oh my goodness. Do you remember this moment? The outro of the song, Everything is Permanent, where they sing in harmony. Did you really need to cry or be seen crying? He poses the question.
Man.
Now, the way I take that, and especially what some of the other lyrics in this album are about, I take that as we're obsessed as a society with social media.
Oh.
And we're obsessed with how many likes we get. By the way, like this video.
Yeah, and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. But we're obsessed with validation. We're obsessed with numbers, and we're obsessed with, you know, all that stuff, especially on our phones, which is where you're probably watching this, which is fine. But he's saying, you know, did you really need to cry or be seen crying? Did you want the attention? Did you want the comments? Did you want the, oh, what's wrong? And then, you know, the person says underneath, message me. Because, you know, it's, I don't want everyone to know about it, but I'll tell you if you private message me.
Oh, God.
All that horse shit. So he is calling us out. Yeah. And I love it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Anything else? Any other lyrics stand out to you? Or any...
Man.
Now, I mean, you talked about a song or two, maybe if you, gun to your head, had to take it off the album. But is there a favorite song?
Well, and the funny part, I just went to look at my notes again, and I gun to my head, I said Ghost in the Machine. But I went back and looked at my notes, and it says, sounds like Bob Dylan when he started playing electric. When he went from, and I mean...
You don't want to take that off.
Yeah, I mean, how bad can that really be?
So if you had to, what would be your favorite song on the album? If you had to pick... Ugh.
I can't.
I just realized I was going to make myself do that too.
Yeah, I really can't. I mean, like I said, I went in hoping to be able to kind of not be stereotypical and say everything's wonderful. All these songs are great.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, this isn't... The album actually is fantastic. There's very little to complain about.
Well, and here's something that I forgot to mention earlier. This album may be the only review that we ever do that has this circumstance. The band released them playing the album in the round in the studio, full-length videos, like 50 minutes, I guess that's how long the album is, on YouTube. They only put it up for 3 days, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I watched that video at least 4 times those 3 days because I just fell in love with this album. I was like, oh, where did this come from? This is absolutely amazing. So then there were weeks and weeks and weeks waiting till the album came out that I didn't hear it, but I had heard it. So you rarely get a chance to hear an album before it's released, which was cool that they did that, and it's cool that they gave you the taste and then took it off.
But I was going to ask you that, because I remember being like, wow, that's such an amazing performance. I hope the album stands up.
It does.
I mean,
we both talked about that. We were like, oh man, I hope they don't try and get too cute with production or like the way they played it just in the room together live was so captivating and brilliant that we were like, oh no, don't mess up the album. And I don't think either of us thought they would because they're a great band. But
I thought they would. Not to say they'd mess it up, but that was a really amazing performance.
Yeah.
And how do you capture that in a studio and make it just... But they did.
They did.
They absolutely did.
And it's clearly a different performance than the album. You know, you can tell.
But still, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. And the last song on the album and the way that song ends with... I was going to write down those lyrics, and I don't even think I could get through it. That's why I didn't. But folks, oh man, stay till the end of this album. This is an album that, as a songwriter, has gotten me excited about writing again. I mean, not that I have been not excited about it recently, but it opened my eyes to a new way of maybe coming out with something or an album or something. It's making me rethink the way I've always thought about songwriting. I mean, for an album to do that.
Oh, no, it makes total sense.
I mean, wow. Wow, folks.
Yeah.
So, the new Dawes is an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah, it's my album of the week. Of all the releases, this is my album of the week.
I defy something to try and knock it off for our album of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a try.
Which we're going to do our albums of the year in December, folks. And
it's going to be very hard.
If this is not at the top of the list, I would love to see what is. I would love to see what is because, wow.
Yeah.
So, once again, for Brad, I am Keith. This is KMB Music Den. Please, we're just getting started, folks. We're loving doing this so much. So, please, like the video. Follow us on social media. We'll get that up and running if it's not already.
Hopefully soon.
And that's how new we are. But more than anything, subscribe to the channel. check out the new Dawes, folks. You won't be sorry.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time, and we'll see you real soon.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Take care.